What if an entire lineage chose to sever ties with the world, retreating into a self-imposed exile that would span 2 centuries? Imagine a family not just living in isolation, but dying alone, their existence a silent testament to an unwavering, almost fanatical commitment to separation. This isn't a historical account of royalty or a fictional tale of a cursed town. This is the chilling narrative of the family that lived and died alone. 200 years of isolation. Prepare to delve into the profound depths of human solitude, the enduring power of a chosen path, and the ultimate cost of a life lived entirely apart. Our journey into this extraordinary solitude begins in the early 19th century, amidst the burgeoning expansion of the American frontier. While others pushed westward, seeking new lands and opportunities, the Blackwood family turned inward. Led by Elias Blackwood, a man of fervent conviction and unyielding will, they harbored a profound disillusionment with the world. They saw society as a cesspool of moral compromise, a place where integrity was sacrificed for fleeting gains, and spiritual purity was an increasingly rare commodity. Elias, a charismatic figure with eyes that burned with an inner fire, preached a doctrine of absolute self-reliance and spiritual secession. He believed that true salvation, both earthly and divine, could only be found in complete detachment from the corrupting influences of civilization. Their chosen sanctuary was a remote, almost inaccessible valley, nestled deep within a forgotten corner of the vast American wilderness. It was a place of breathtaking, untamed beauty, where ancient trees stood sentinel and a pristine river carved its winding path through the rugged landscape. Here, far from the nearest settlement, the Blackwoods began their grand experiment in isolation. They built their homestead with their own hands, tilling the virgin soil, hunting the abundant game, and drawing water from crystal-clear springs. Every member of the family, from the youngest child to the eldest grandparent, contributed to their self-sufficient existence. They were a microcosm of humanity, stripped down to its bare essentials, bound by blood, belief, and the shared conviction that their chosen path was the only righteous one. The outside world, with its wars, its politics, and its ever-changing fashions, became a distant, irrelevant hum, a fading memory that grew dimmer with each passing year. For 200 years, the Blackwood family remained true to Elias's vision. Generations were born, lived, and died within the confines of their valley, their world bounded by the towering peaks and the dense, whispering forests. They developed their own customs, their own dialect, a unique blend of archaic English and regionalisms that became almost impenetrable to outsiders. Their knowledge was passed down orally, from elder to child, focusing on survival skills, the rhythms of nature, and the strict interpretations of their founders' teachings. The concept of outsiders became almost mythical, a cautionary tale of a world they had successfully escaped. They were a living anachronism, a pocket of the past preserved in the relentless march of time. Yet isolation, while preserving their chosen way of life, also exacted a heavy toll. The gene pool, once diverse, slowly constricted. Subtle physical traits became more pronounced, and certain ailments, once rare, began to appear with increasing frequency. Learning was often rote, and innovation, viewed with suspicion, was stifled. Their understanding of the world, beyond their valley, became distorted, based on the increasingly outdated and fear-driven narratives of their ancestors. They were strong, resilient, and deeply connected to their land, but their world was also narrow, their perspectives limited, and their potential, in many ways, unfulfilled. Each generation faced the silent, unspoken challenges of a life lived entirely apart, a life where the only mirrors were the faces of their kin, reflecting back in ever-diminishing genetic diversity. The breaking of the Blackwoods' 2-century isolation was not a dramatic, sudden event, but a slow, almost imperceptible erosion, much like the river that carved their valley. It began with the relentless encroachment of the outside world, not through direct confrontation, but through the subtle hum of distant machinery, the occasional glint of sunlight on a passing aircraft, and the faint, almost ghostly echoes of modern sounds carried on the wind. These were the first cracks in their carefully constructed world, tiny fissures that allowed glimpses of a reality far different from the one they knew. Then came the explorers, not seeking gold or new lands, but drawn by whispers of an untouched wilderness, a place where time had stood still. A team of cartographers, charting uncharted territories, stumbled upon the Blackwood Valley. Their initial encounter was one of profound shock and mutual apprehension. The Blackwoods, seeing these outsiders as a threat to their sacred solitude, reacted with a mixture of fear and fierce protectiveness. But the world had changed. The cartographers, equipped with cameras and a deep respect for the unknown, did not seek to conquer, but to understand. Their reports, initially met with skepticism, eventually brought anthropologists, linguists, and medical professionals to the valley's edge, not as invaders, but as curious observers. The initial interactions were tentative, marked by suspicion and a vast cultural chasm. The Blackwoods, though wary, were also undeniably curious. The sheer novelty of the outsiders' tools, their knowledge, and their very presence began to chip away at generations of ingrained distrust. It was a slow, painstaking process of building bridges, one hesitant step at a time. The younger Blackwoods, in particular, were captivated by the glimpses of the outside world, their innate curiosity overcoming the elders' warnings. They saw not corruption, but possibility, not danger, but discovery. The legacy of Elias Blackwood, once an unbreakable chain, began to fray, not through force, but through the irresistible pull of the unknown and the promise of a wider world. The aftermath of the Blackwoods' isolation was a complex tapestry of hope and heartbreak. The world, eager to study and understand this unique human experiment, offered resources, education, and medical care. Many of the younger Blackwoods embraced these opportunities, venturing out into a world that was both bewildering and exhilarating. They learned new skills, adapted to modern conveniences, and began to forge connections beyond their family. The genetic challenges that had plagued their lineage for generations were finally addressed, leading to improved health and quality of life for many. Yet, the transition was not without its profound difficulties. The elders, rooted in their centuries-old traditions, struggled to reconcile their beliefs with the new realities. Some found solace in the quiet dignity of their old ways, choosing to live out their days in the valley, observing the changes from a distance. Others, unable to adapt, withered in the face of a world they could not comprehend. The unique dialect,
Subscribe to my
the intricate
channel.
knowledge of the wilderness, and many of the customs that had defined the Blackwoods for 200 years slowly began to fade, replaced by the homogenizing forces of modern society. The family that had lived and died alone was now, paradoxically, faced with the challenge of living and dying as part of a larger, more complex world. The story of the Blackwood family stands as a poignant testament to the enduring human desire for self-determination, the profound impact of isolation, and the relentless march of time. It is a narrative that reminds us of the delicate balance between preserving heritage and embracing progress, and the often unseen costs of a life lived entirely apart. Their valley, once a hidden sanctuary, now serves as a silent monument to a family's extraordinary journey, a place where the echoes of 2 centuries of solitude still whisper on the wind, urging us to reflect on the true meaning of connection, community, and the boundless complexities of the human spirit. And so, the tale of the Blackwood family, a lineage that chose solitude over society, comes to a close. Their story is a profound meditation on the human spirit's capacity for both fierce independence and deep vulnerability. It challenges us to consider the true meaning of freedom, the hidden costs of purity, and the undeniable interconnectedness of all lives. The echoes of their 200 years of isolation still resonate, a silent question hanging in the air. What are we willing to sacrifice for our beliefs? And what happens when the world we shut out eventually finds its way in? If this journey into the depths of human isolation has stirred your thoughts, share your reflections in the comments below. What lessons do you draw from the Blackwood's extraordinary existence? And if you're intrigued by stories of hidden histories and forgotten lives, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the untold narratives that shape our world.